Hello guys, this is Last Door. Collector's Edition, in fact. We'll be playing episode 1 today. As you can see, I kinda already started doing that, so it was just for some testing. I did this a few days ago, so I'll let the music speak for itself. This first scene anyways. It's a really good game. I really do love it. I don't feel so bad about talking over it right now, because it is just music, but it's very good music. It has a great soundtrack. This is a point-and-click, I guess you could call it a horror adventure game. It has a really in-depth story. Yeah, the first episode doesn't do the entire story justice, so. But it is worth playing through the entire series, and I'll just let this scene play out and let it speak now. Yeah, so that was the intro. Now this plays over every episode, but so I don't feel too bad talking about over this either. The last scene usually they have like one of those for each of the episodes, so, and they help introduce you to what's going on. You don't understand it first until you get to the end of the episode. But I mean, listen to the soundtrack; it's just great, and I think it fits the game very well. Now, I did record this, like I said, a few days ago, because I was trying to get the software to work. So, I'm a little rusty with it right now. I don't know what I did exactly. You know, I spent all day, for the last 2 days, basically, trying to find recording software I can use just to do a voiceover. And it turns out this whole time I've had a program on my phone. Not on my phone, but on my laptop to do it. This is a mobile game, just saying, and it is not pay to play, but they let you play the first episode for free. Now I've played both of the games before, so I already have them all paid for. But it's really worth paying for. It's only $5, and you get a few hours of entertainment out of it. This is the main character who you will be playing as in this game. This is Mr. DeWitt, I think. DeWitt, maybe. I can't quite remember. It's a very atmospheric game. It's beautiful. Well, not beautiful, but very atmospheric. It really draws you into it, despite the 8-bit graphics. And contrary to what a lot of people think, I think 8-bit. The graphics aren't as important as the story and the atmosphere. The creators of this game picked good soundtracks to create the atmosphere of the game itself, and it's in the descriptions of objects that you can't really interact with, but you can look at. Excuse me. That are really add to the game. Let me give a picture. Now, in this cutscene, you couldn't do anything, but it's kind of, he walks for you, but as you get into the actual game, you can actually control what the person does, well, what your character does. Basically what's happening is he got a letter from his friend from boarding school that he went to, and it was something that the group, a secret phrase that the group used. It was in Latin. I think it's on vide sciat, or something like that. And which they only use for something of dire importance. You can't tell anybody out. So this is the first episode 1, the letter. Now, I have tried to get everything for you guys in here, to display everything. So I'm hoping that I got it well. I think I got just about most everything. I do spend a good bit of time on the letters throughout the game, just to let you have some time to read it and to pause if you need to read it. The atmosphere of it just really adds to it. There's nothing you can beat there. Okay, this is where you can officially start playing. I mean, you had to control him to get to the house before, but he puts the coat, hat, his coat and hat on the rack himself. And yeah, this is the first letter in the game, the first note, I guess you could say. And what it basically says is that, hey, his servants have left. It's a note from his servants to his to the owner of the house, your friend, just saying thanks for all the years of service, but we have to leave now due to recent events, quote unquote. Well, not quote unquote, my bad. Good. So you don't know what these are yet, and I don't think actually you ever figure out what exactly happened here to cause said events to happen. Well, you know what the cause of it is, but you don't know exactly what happened for sure. You get hints, but that's about it. And this game, you have to try to find different things. It's like a puzzle game, point and click. You get these different things that you can interact with. Some of them are useful, some of them are not. Really, most of the things you pick up, you're going to use. There are a few things you don't, but in general, if you get something, expect to use it. It's going to be for something. Like this matchbox, it's a simple puzzle whenever you get there. And there's nothing else really in this room for now. That music device thing, I forgot what you call them, is going to be useful later. So as you go down the hall here, you want to stop at this picture, this painting here. There's going to be something behind it after you move it like this. It's going to be a rosary. They have a lot of hidden objects like this that are required for the game. And really, you can tell that they're important by the way they stand out, because that painting was very different from the rest of them. A bit more detailed, if you want to call 8-bit graphics detailed. And, yeah. So this is the first room that you're going to need to come across. And this is where you're going to use the matchbox, too, whenever you get the next object I'm about to pick up here. Which I think I almost missed my first time playing through. Actually, it's been a little while. So, that lantern there is going to be a very important lamp. Lantern, torch, if you want to be British. Is very important to actually be able to complete the game. This is the next letter, just saying that the owner of the house is actually banned all religious objects for some reason. We don't know why, and you don't ever find out why throughout the whole series so far. There is something I missed in this room, and if you look on the back wall, pause the video, you can see there's a little shape of a cross on the wall. That a cross used to be there, and you can tell by the difference of the wear, paint, and all that whenever you tap on it. And that's what it says anyways. And there used to be a crucifix there. You can pause these if you want to read it. They are a little bit important to the story, because there's not too much dialogue in this first episode. Actually, I don't think there's any. You want to do this because of the cat if you read the first letter. The notes are important for the game. They give you some hints. So, since the window can't stay open, you have to hold it open with the rosary because you want to let the cat in for food, which we don't have the food yet. We'll be getting that in a bit, though. So this door here leads to the basement. Right now it's locked. You get a key later on as we progress further in the game. If you notice throughout the game as you progress on, the music changes. It starts to pick up more and more as you get from one part to another. And okay, I'm just showing you the paintings here too. They aren't too important really, but like I said, it adds to the atmosphere. So as I said before, my bad. So I may seem a little jumpy in my talking. I have ADHD, and around this time of night, it's about 7:20 or so, my medicine's worn off. I've seemed a bit hushed at some points. It's because This is quiet hours technically right now. I'm in the seminary, so I'm trying to keep it down so I don't disturb my other seminarians here. So you want to get the dish rag there. And that's going to be important later on in the game. Vital, actually. Well, not vital. You can actually skip over that part, but if you already know what to do. So, previously, you could have just walked back here at the very start before you went to the house. You would have come across this, but you wouldn't have been able to get inside because the door is latched. So, if you try to approach the crows, you can't get close enough, because it could be dangerous, as you said. They're very ravenous. It's just a garbage can. It's to help add to the atmosphere to show, hey, you know, this place hasn't been taken care of in a while. Not even the garbage has been taken out yet. So with nothing there, nothing left to do there for now, we have to go back to the entrance of the house, and we'll go to the left side this time. Or is it to the right? I can't quite remember. To the left, yes. Up the stairs. Previously, if you didn't have the lantern, you wouldn't have been able to come up here. Because it's the darkness. Now this door right here is very important. So you'll want to remember that. Not for this episode, but for the end of the season, I believe. So as we get through the season, we will, you should remember that door. Because it'll make sense later on. You probably forget about it, and then when you see it again, it will pop up and like, oh, so that's what's behind there. Anyway, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, as I will be trying to do the whole series when I can. For the next 3 days, though, I'm gonna be on the silent retreat here, so I won't be able to record or do anything other than pray in silence. It's gonna be beautiful, though. Okay, so you want into the room here at the end of the hall on the right. It's showing you the painting there. A silver key. That key opens to the basement. Now, you want to note that these windows here aren't actually windows. They're actually, one of them is actually a door that leads to the balcony. The first time I played through this, I was so confused because I thought that was a window. So when I got to a certain point, I couldn't figure out what to do because I thought that was a window, and turns out I was wrong. But as soon as I figured that out, it turned out being fine. So I'm showing you here that the key doesn't work for this door, so it's not for that. You do move a little bit slower through the dark parts of the game. I guess this is just because for like an effect, just so you're kind of stumbling your way through the darkness. There isn't really anything that pops out at you, so you don't have to worry about that. In either season, I think. So no jump scares. Purely atmospheric. So you want to go back to the hallway, down to the basement. Excuse me. Because there's a couple of things that we need to get down there for now. We will be returning to the basement later on. So you want to get this here. This is to that music machine outside, as I said previously. So you want to get that, and there's a crowbar down here you'll need to get to open those wooden bars we saw earlier. Wooden boards, sorry, we saw earlier in the upstairs. Notice I got quiet all of a sudden. See, the music changes as you progress through the game, as will the world that you're in for a little bit. Notice how it's different? So you want to make this stop somehow, but you can't break it because it's too expensive. So what do? Well, you just leave, of course, and then it stopped itself for some reason. So you want to go back to this room and crows. Why are they there? You do not know. They are just there. They don't actually do anything, but with the crows in there, we can continue on and through the go back through to the back door to the back, and we'll be able to get where the crows were eating there. Which was a dying crow. With this crow, we'll be able to feed the cat. This is a unique item in the game, as it makes noise as you have it in your inventory. There's nothing else in the whole series, I think, that does that. See, this is when the music starts to get good. It's when it picks up like this, starting to get to the climax. And each episode has its own different thing. So you won't be listening to this throughout, like, the whole game. It's different. They put a lot of care into the sound. To make up for the graphics, of course, the sound and the gameplay and the story. I guess that's a part of the benefit of having 8-bit graphics. So with that done, we can go up to the stairway upstairs, and we can unboard the door that's been blocked off for some reason. We're about to find out why. So notice how it got all quiet again. Now this guy's definitely placed for a short time. It's only temporary. I'm showing you here these letters because they help out to the story. These aren't too important as in the way of hints, but it's good to read them, in my opinion. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you'll lose part of the experience, again, in my opinion. If you just want to rush through it, well, that's fine with you. That's fine with me. I just don't expect to enjoy it as much, in my opinion. And the Beechworth, your friend Mr. Beechworth. This, assuming it is his wife. I'm not going to reveal that yet, whether it is or not, because that will spoil a bit of the game. Well, I guess it doesn't now, because she's called him her husband. So there you go. Yes, I spoil it. I reveal it all to you. She is his wife. Dun dun dun. I think these are mainly just talking about like how she's suffering and how your friend Mr. Beechworth has changed in recent times. No longer the man we once knew, assumingly. Now you only get this. You have to double click it twice. I forgot to do that. But I do get on my way back into this room. This one's just a short one. And this one's a bit strange. So you don't know if they're going crazy or what's going on. But probably they're going crazy. And I just gave you a lot of time to read this, to pause and read it. It's short. And if you can't read that, you can click on the wall there. It basically just says, "Leave me alone." In blood. Just to add for that little creepiness effect. But now you'll want to go into the room to the left here. The wheelchair and the dresser drawer are useless. You want to go in here, and I'm just showing you, going through all these paintings to show you, but you want to get the one at the very end that's leaning up against the window. That's the one that's important. That little noise too is a crow clicking outside. I think I'll show you this a little bit later on. Really, other than that painting by the window, there's nothing else of a real importance in this room. And you want to note that it's fresher paint, so it's been painted back over. So just keep that in note as we continue on. Notice how the music's back and it's picked up again. So now that we have the hairpin, we can go back into this room. We needed a small tool to open up the door to the balcony here. And with the hairpin we could. So we managed to get the latch open. We go back outside and enter into this room here. Notice that the link's right there. That's important. That its mouth is stuffed, closed and stuffed. Well, it's stuffed and its mouth is closed. So you only get this hammer here. That's vital. This paint thing is also part of an optional thing. So, but now I'll just show you a bit of what's in the room here. It's like a chemical set and a map of the city, I think. There's also some books on the shelves up there in a language that quote you cannot read or aren't able to understand or read or translate or something like that. I think unknown language to me, language unknown to me. There. But those things that we can now leave. This room we'll have to go back to that room later on. And at this point, we're getting pretty close to the end of this level, this episode. So with that, I go ahead and do this. You can just put the paint thinner back on and go in, and then you can enter into this room, and you can use the paint thinner for that to wipe off the new paint to reveal what's beneath it, what the original painting was. And we find out that the lynx's mouth is actually originally open, like in a growl. This is important because remember the lynx back in the stuffed lynx back in the other room that we got the hammer at. Its mouth was originally opened, and we have to open that somehow. With that, we have to get the tool. But how about we go and check back on the cat? As I said, this is post-commentary. So we go back to check on the cat to see what's going on. But when you enter this room, you hear this noise. It's like a cat in distress. This part, my first time going through, disturbed me a good bit. Because I've had a few cats before, and I know what the distress call sounds like, and that's pretty much what it is. So you'll notice there's a blood stain going through the hole in the wall there from the bowl, and the crow's gone. The cat's in the basement. At the end of the basement, there are a couple other things that aren't really of any use. There's a pile of wood and an old boiler which hasn't been used for a long time, as your character determines. And there'll be a stone wall in the back that you have to break open. The cat's behind. I forgot to click on it beforehand, the stone wall, and just went ahead and broke it. It's basically just telling you, hey, there's a stone wall here, the cat's behind it. I need to find some way to break it. It's kind of funny because that part actually scared me the first time. I don't know why. Now I look back at it. Excuse me. So you find a dark cloak and a mask, a knife. The cloak and mask makes sense later on. The mask in particular, especially when you get to season 2, it's basically like what the whole game centered around. Not that particular mask, but you'll see when we get there. Or if you already played it, you just need some help, or are playing it, it needs some help. Well, you already know what I'm talking about. You just want to watch this for the hell of it and already played it before, well, and you also know what I'm talking about. So with that knife, we can go back to the taxidermied lynx to open its mouth with the knife. This particular episode has a lot of going back and forth. The puzzles aren't too hard. It's partially used also as a demo, so whenever you download the game originally, you can download it for free. It lets you play the first episode for free. And basically that's a short demo. And if you wish, you can purchase it just like $5. Again, it can give you a few hours of good gameplay. It's really worth getting, in my opinion. This is not paid at all. Paid advertisement, whatever you want to call it. So we found a golden key in there, and that golden key unlocks the trapdoor upstairs. When we get up there, I'm just gonna let it play out for itself, and I'll be quiet. So. The last door. Now imagine seeing that happen. The body of your dead friend being eaten by a bunch of crows. Well, that's it for episode 1, guys. Thank you for joining me today. It was lots of fun. I really do enjoying recording videos, even though it's a bit of a hassle. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Well, bye-bye.